Good morning, children. Today I am going to continue with the explanation of chapter 6, The Great Escape, written by Lyman Frank Baum. Before I could continue with the explanation of this chapter, I would like to give you a short briefing of what we did in the previous class. Now, in the previous class, we have studied that how the scarecrow came up with an idea and how he gave the lion, the cowardly lion, courage to jump over that ditch, and how the cowardly lion showed great courage and bravery and helped the scarecrow by taking him on his back and jumping over the ditch with a great leap. And then he helped Dorothy and so on, and continued to help the Tin Man by crossing that ditch. After crossing the ditch, all the three friends, the Scarecrow, Dorothy and the Tin Woodman, were happy to see how easily the lion did it and how brave he was, as he was being called the cowardly lion in the story. And then after crossing the ditch, they took some rest for a while and they continued with their journey to Emerald City. Now please pay attention while I read and continue with the explanation of the remaining chapter. After resting for a while, they started walking along the road. Soon they heard strange noise from deep inside the forest. Now, after resting for a while after crossing the ditch, they took some rest for a while, and they continued with their journey to Emerald City to meet the great Wizard of Oz, so that the Wizard of Oz could help them in granting their wishes. So while they were crossing the forest, again they came across a forest, and while they were crossing the forest, they could hear strange noise, means very scary kind of noise. And while hearing this strange noise, they were getting scared. The lion whispered, "That must be the Kalidas. They live in this part of the country." Then the lion started speaking in a very soft and low voice and told his friends that might be the Kalidas that live at this part of the forest or of the deep inside the forest, at this part of the forest or the country. "What are Kalidas?" asked Dorothy. Then Dorothy asked the lion, "What are Kalidas? What are these Kalidas?" Then the lion replied in a very frightening way. He was very scared while he was saying these words. Now, Kalidas are beasts with bodies like bears and heads like tigers, replied the lion. So when Dorothy asked the lion, "What are Kalidas?" so he was very scared and he was saying, "Kalidas are creatures with bodies of bear and heads of tigers." And heads of tigers, heads like tigers. "They have long and sharp claws. I am very afraid of the Kalidas." Then the lion said, they gave the description of the Kalidas, like they have the body of bears and head like tigers and long and sharp claws, nails, claws and red eyes. They look very, and they are very huge in size. They look very fearful, and I am also very scared of the Kalidas. They came to another ditch across the road, but this one was so broad and deep that the lion knew he could not jump over it. So they sat down to think what they can do. Now, after speaking and after listening to this strange voice, and after the lion gave the description of the Kalidas, so, and while they were walking, they came across another big ditch. But this ditch was very broad, it was very huge and very broad in size. It was very deep, even the lion could not cross it. Now all these three friends, they started to think. They sat down and they started thinking how to cross the ditch, the second ditch that is blocking their way to go to Emerald City and meet the Wizard of Oz. The Scarecrow said, "This tree is very close to the ditch. If the Tin Woodman chops it down, it will fall to the other side and we can walk over it easily." Now after thinking for a while and after a great deal of thinking and after using their brains, it was after thinking for a very long time. Now again it was the Scarecrow who came up with an idea. Now why is it so funny that each and every time the Scarecrow is coming up with an idea in the story? Now actually the Scarecrow doesn't have a brain. He wants to go and meet the Wizard of Oz to get some brain, as he doesn't have a brain, so he cannot think. But still he is coming with some kinds of ideas. In the first ditch, you saw that it was the Scarecrow who came up with an idea and helped his friends to cross the ditch and gave the lion the courage. Now in the second, this is a very big broad ditch. Again, it was the same Scarecrow who came up with an idea, who never had a brains, to cross the ditch. Now what was the idea was? The idea that the Scarecrow gave was, there was a very big huge tree in front of the ditch, just near the ditch. So he said, if the Tin Woodman chops this huge tree, and we can use the branches of the tree or the trunk of the tree to walk across this ditch. It was a very huge tree, so if they could have used that, they could have used the trunk of the tree as a bridge to walk across that broad ditch. "That is a great idea," said the lion. "One would almost think you had brains instead of straw." Now then the lion said to the Scarecrow, "That is a great idea. It's a very good idea. But one would almost think that you have brains rather than straw." Now why did the lion say this word? The lion said this word because actually the Scarecrow was made out of straw and hair. He never had a brain. He was going to the Wizard of Oz to grant his wish and ask the Wizard of Oz to help him in giving him a brain. Children, I'll continue with the remaining chapter in the next class. Until then, thank you.